by
You should
driver.
also have one in your DMs too.
Alrighty. Welcome to 5/19/2024 meeting. Today we're going to talk about a few things that we talked about in the city last night, as well as some new upcoming things coming to PD. So first, y'all saw it, I hope, if y'all read the announcement, that we are getting new guns. By tomorrow or Monday, I'm not a sure date, we need all your weapons except for your shotgun, your beanbag shotgun, and your SMG. And if you use a revolver. So we're gonna be doing a full wipe of the um PD weapon log. So does anyone have any questions on that? No? Going once. Going twice. You're all fucked.
Does anyone know what you're supposed to do with the weapons? Well, what he's talking about. Like where you're supposed to put it?
Trash in the CIS area.
No.
Yeah,
You
trash
give
can.
them to me.
Oh,
McKinney's told them to put it in the
Okay.
trash can. So.
Oh, well,
Cool.
either put it in the trash can or give it to me. It's up to you.
Yeah.
I'll dispose of it if you can't. I know we have an event today, so from my understanding, half of the funds are going to PD and EMS. So if y'all could, I would love if y'all could make it there and show your support, since they will be paying us. It's just kind of, make yourself known. Okay, I'll let you talk about that.
About the event that I have absolutely no knowledge on. Yeah. I mean, there's the only thing I know about it is the fact that there's a 2000s party.
No, I'm
Yes.
talking about the thing that you just messaged me about.
Oh, no, that'll have to be a topic that we just don't go into. And it's only on the hold up. I'll send you a message on that one then.
Okay, just hold off on the shooting from vehicles, apparently, with the pursuit initiative, okay? So, if you're getting rammed, just ram them back, basically. Don't shoot at all.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, people that were here yesterday, I have put together a initiative for the interference vehicles, because I know we've been getting rammed a lot. It's called PI. I think we changed it. Pursuit Interference Initiative.
Yep.
It's going to be basically a thing that if you're getting rammed by a interference vehicle in a chase, you have every right to ram them back. For now, there will be no shooting from your vehicle at the tires or at them. Just ram them back, try to get them out, give them warning with your megaphone. Just be smart around it. Don't be doing it in the city, like, with a lot of people nearby. Because, public safety.
This also involves if they're shooting at us, we can shoot back, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, like, if somebody's ramming at the difference between what the new PI is and the whole lethal force thing that was talked about before is the times that was talked about authorizing lethal forces to where you can open fire on somebody's if they are using NOS and ramming at you at ungodly speeds, which would be anywhere from 150 to 200 miles per hour. But it's solely for now specific to them using NOS and ramming into you. There will be a discussion amongst command members about whether or not we want to allow officers to open fire on a person for normal ramming. So you guys will get an update on it probably within announcements or in a meeting sometime next month or something like that. So keep your eyes out for that one.
Cool.
Yeah. Also, don't be afraid to pit fairly aggressively on the interference vehicles. Yesterday there was a really great job on the officers that were trying to get the interference vehicle away from primary and secondary during one of our pursuits. As soon as they made contact with an officer's car, it was game on, and we do still have to keep in mind our pit policies to make sure that we're not ramming at them over 100 miles per hour. But if speeds are under 80 or close to 80, then we should still be aiming for pit maneuvers versus just straight up ramming. But that is something that we are able to do as soon as the interference car makes contact with one of our vehicles.
Or if your pit timer expires. There you go.
Yeah.
We also have spikes. The 4th unit at Chase should always be running on a side street. I don't want to see the 4th unit be running behind everybody possible. When you're the 4th unit, you need to be running on a side street, trying to find a good area of where they're going. Just try to predict them. So when spikes do get activated, you can actually use them, and you're actually able to do that. If you're getting spike strips, you're allowed 2, and they got to be in your gun rack at all times. Any questions on that?
No.
I don't know if you've ever used these spike strips. They do take a while to get them out of your gun rack. So I don't know what we want to do with that. If we want to put them in our glove box.
So I would recommend carrying it on you
Okay.
when you know that there's a pursuit, or if it's a pursuit that stems from like a traffic stop or something like that, the 4th unit can pull over and then get it out of their gun rack and stuff like that. But ideally, if we're having a day where we have a lot of chases, just pull it out of your gun rack and just carry it on you. I don't know how heavy they are, but maybe carry a maximum of like 2 or 3 at a time.
They're
2.
1.5
2.
pound.
Okay. Yeah, well then definitely don't carry an excessive amount. We'll probably want to stick to 2 then. Because the last thing we want to do is layer out a full street and then have people that aren't involved get spiked because we're waiting for Drift McGee to finish his circle to get spiked.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you're the 4th unit, you have so much time to just pull over and just open your gun rack and pull them out. When setting out spikes, make sure you call it out over radio. Make sure the units know where the spikes are going to be so they don't spike their own tires, etc. etc. I brought it up in last night's briefing. Spacing, we need to fix our spacing, guys. I believe Mason Reed said he would like to do a training about this. If Mason, you want to go more about this over here?
Yeah. So, during the chases we had, I noticed that 2 of the things that we lacked was spacing and training, which isn't on anyone because it's just not something that we've really focused on during anyone's training. But it is something that I would like to set up a training for with a lot of the department to better handle that.
Yeah, if you want to get with me after this, we can talk about getting it set up, and then we'll be able to set up the date with the rest of the department.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, perfect. So now,
Oh.
if you don't have anything else, I'm gonna open the board up to everybody if they have any questions.
I do have something on this one. So I want to remind people about chain of command. While McKinney is more than happy to help and assist people with things, we've got a lot of people going up to him specifically and kind of jumping the chain of command and stuff like that. While we've got Maddie, myself, Quinn, and Figadus, where it's our job to work with you The only time that something should really be going up to McKinney is when it's complete versus during the process of getting something set up. So I'm just going to kind of request of people to kind of remember to use chain of command, so that McKinney is not just getting overwhelmed with everything that's happening, because that's an easy way to burn out a chief. Is everybody sees that the chief is around, and then they're going to the chief about things that a captain can take care of or already knows the answer of, because they've either already talked about it, or um, or the fact that McKinney trusts that the people that are in the high rank positions are more than capable of keeping things in mind. So do keep that in mind, please. Um, it hasn't been absolutely terrible, and nobody's really getting in trouble for it, but it could potentially evolve into a little bit of an issue later down the line. And it's fairly consistent across a lot of departments. Is the reason that the chiefs tend to go MIA out on the streets is because every time that they go on duty, it's, hey, I need to talk to you about this. I need to talk to you about this, from 7 different people. And it's almost always a matter that could be done and completed at a lower rank.
All right, isn't it?
Mm.
I'd like to add on to this. We do have a handful of sergeants now, guys. So let's start using them as well. They're your supervisors. If you need any help, bring it to them. If they don't know, they'll bring it to us, and we'll get you an answer. So now the board is open for questions and concerns. Anything you have, throw them at us, and we'll talk about it.
You know, you want to say it, Cameron.
No, I'm just sitting there thinking of things to bring up, but I can't think of anything.
I got some thoughts on the whole ramming and interference vehicles that I think should be taken
Okay.
into consideration.
Yeah.
We don't pit at over 80 miles an hour because it's excessively dangerous for the criminal and huge probability for them to get hurt. And so I think that needs to be taken into consideration when they're hitting us at over 80 miles an hour. Are we considering that assault with a deadly or attempted murder to green light lethal force on them? Because if we can't pit them at over 80, they're just going to keep going 100 and keep hitting us over and over and over, right? And then we catch up to them, but we're going 100, so we can't pit them, and it's just kind of like a back and forth until something
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, and they
Yes.
will
Until the
know
cop is out of
how hard
commission.
to hit us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, and
that's
that's
something that command is going to have to talk about, in regards to whether or not what we want to classify lethal reaction to be, whether it be from a gun, or if we want to keep it kind of matching force in a way. Um, because I mean, the main idea right now is to basically give them a taste of their own medicine, while protecting the people that are immediately pursuing the suspects. Um, so yeah, just keep a heads up on that. We'll have a discussion about it and then get a full-fledged answer. Because I know one of the concerns about the idea of being able to shoot at them is what if they're not using NOS or something like that, is that could be taken as abuse of power, or basically when you I can't remember the legal term of it, excessive force. It could be considered excessive force. Um, And if we aren't careful about this, people are more than happy to restrict things, if they believe that what we are doing is excessive. So this will be a conversation that not only High Command will have to have, but also with the commissioners, just to make sure that they are on board with it.
I did have a suggestion with that, if you don't
Mhm.
mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, since we can't pit at over 80, but um, we can't really classify if it is deadly force if they start ramming us or not. What if we shift it to where we could pit at 100 if they start ramming?
Well, if they're ramming you, you have every right to ram them back. Pitting doesn't even matter. You're just ramming at that point. You're trying to save your own life from getting rammed.
Yeah.
NOS or not, in my opinion, sorry, babe, but it's a vehicle. It hurts you. It's gonna kill you. If you hop out of that car, it's gonna kill you. It's a weapon. Ram them back. Disable
And
them.
criminals are
Well,
smart.
and
They're
that's
gonna
what
they're gonna
that's
find different ways.
yeah.
Just
to-
don't shoot
So
at
I'm
them.
Yeah, so I'm saying pitting, when in all actuality, like while we're doing it, it's going to turn into more ramming because you're trying to stop them from going forward. But at the same time, we can't be doing it excessively. And for the chases that are in city, it's not going to be very often that we are going to be going over 100 miles an hour unless the pursuit's going in a straight line. So it's a matter of utilizing those turns and trying to keep them from going there. And then that's like when you're aiming to ram/pit them. But like I said, it's something that'll have to be discussed with everybody.
So
in
I'm
command
gonna
and with-
also add with this. The most recent pursuits that we've had, they have been way over 100 miles per hour. They've been up to 140, and we
Yeah,
can
this-
never get them to slow down to where we can actually pit them.
Mm.
So
Yeah, and their cars
they-
accelerate so much faster than ours.
and they also have been using NOS to get away from us. So I don't know if we can get our vehicles faster or have vehicles with NOS, like higher ranking officers to be able to use NOS.
So the thing about our vehicles, that I definitely most recently noticed, they nerfed our Buffalo.
Yep.
Yes.
So if you
Yep.
have access to other vehicles, I would recommend getting those vehicles. Because I know one of our SUVs that is unlocked at Senior Officer. That one's not too bad. It usually accelerates fairly quickly.
No,
Unless that
they
was nerfed
buffed
too.
that. It was nerfed. The acceleration is horrible.
If
I've
you're
heard
talking
of
about the
from-
one that's like 65,000, it's not great.
Okay.
It's slower than the Buffalo that we have now.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah,
accelerate
and
as
fully
fast.
Okay.
upgraded Buffalo is really not that great.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, they did
Taurus is
something
not
to the-
either.
They
I'm
did
just gonna
something to the
chime in
control.
here real quick. Like the fact that we even got our pitting policy changed to being able to pit in city is new. So that's great. I think it is definitely a continued conversation to have. As far as the NOS goes, that was something that I brought up in our meeting like 2 weeks ago with high command, and they were very negative about us having access to it. But I tried to push to be like, well, can we get better heat vehicles? What can we do? I think we just need to be open with Root about like you nerfed us completely. Like what is
Yeah.
it? They took down the Sunrise, the Karen, but now it's like then they took us down too. So in effect, it's like they didn't help us, right?
But now, like a lot of the criminals that have access to like the mechanic job, they're using that to get advantage from us. They're using armor, they're using NOS, even turbo too.
Which is why I think it's a continued conversation with high command, and also we have to give feedback on how our cars are being adjusted.
Yep.
So I don't remember a notice being sent out to us at all about the Buffalo or anything being adjusted, because I remember one of the first chases we were in and we're like, why am I not accelerating? Like they need to loop us in
Yep.
a little bit when that happens so we can adjust and also be willing and knowing to provide feedback of like, okay, this is what's different. And they're in local cars. I was chasing two back to back, and they were able to outpace me within
Mhm.
less than 5 minutes.
Yep.
I wouldn't be
even-
too. I wouldn't
Go
have been too worried about the Buffalo if it had better brakes
Yes,
or
brakes are horrible.
the sliding was
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
adjusted, because it can accelerate if it's fully upgraded, especially with
Yes.
turbo and stuff like that. It's just it's
It
the
could go
slide
faster.
and the brake.
Yeah.
It maxed out at 130, 35, I believe.
140.
And a lot of the vehicles they go quicker than ours.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
And
that'll be something that will
Especially a lot of the
definitely
newer
get
ones
away
as
from.
well.
But also
Cameron and-
with Quinn too, with more heat vehicles, the problem with the heat vehicles too is they are too expensive. Like I'm not even I can say for a lot of people we are struggling with the money, and
Yeah.
I don't see how we can get $1 million for a heat vehicle.
The $1 million
So,
one is commissioner only. I'm telling you right there.
Yeah,
Cheapest one right now is 75 grand. I'm
And
not
I was
supposed to
also
say
told
anything
the
about
truck-
it, but we're getting a new one.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Um,
and then I do believe that there's possibly a way to get some of them financed for like the last bit of it. But there's a bunch of other things that we were kind of talking about in regards to like heat stuff, but it kind of fell off a little bit. But I'll bring it back up with command and stuff like that. about ways that we can assist officers getting vehicles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Because
that would
like
be
that's the number
great.
one. Yeah, because that's the number one thing that's hurting us right now is that we don't have the heat vehicles to go and pursue.
We don't.
And we also don't have Air One. And even then, when we did have Air
Yeah.
One, there were times where it could have been utilized that it really wasn't.
Mhm.
And stuff like that. So we just got to remember to kind of use our tools and resources when it comes to that once it becomes more available for people to use. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it does need switching a little for at least on this
Mhm.
front. It's like a lot of the newer vehicles that came in to buy. Some of them we don't have a prayer. Like one of them can at least it can top to nearly 400 miles per hour with NOS. It's ridiculously fast.
Yeah. And see
And that
stuff like that
wasn't
needs to
even
be
that
reported.
expensive for him either. He financed that pretty well. But a lot of these newer vehicles are quite speedy. And if obviously cruisers have been knocked down to shit and upgrades ain't going to do all, it's kind of like
Mhm.
it's completely shattered the balance that Crimson Corps are meant to have in 5M
Mhm.
and Red is that balance is gone. It's now completely shifted into Crim's favour. So
It has.
that's a better argument to go with the higher ups is saying, look, we can't maintain balance anymore, and with that, there's no, we can't shift that back because you've undermined us a little bit, but with decreasing the cruiser, like you mentioned, all the fucking heat vehicles are too expensive, so we can't rebalance the scale anymore without you fucking around and sorting something out, which isn't how it should be. So that might be a better argument to try and get it sorted.
Yeah.
And
And see,
even
like,
sorry.
this thing
go
though
ahead.
isn't necessarily a command thing, because I don't tank's not one of the ones that you works with the vehicles. So
No,
this is
yeah.
something that we'll have to talk with
It's
root
root
and
and
stuff like
Rick.
that. And it's yeah, and then on top of that though is I do believe that is kind of on one of their list of things. But at the same time, with all of the push that they're putting with other things,
Yeah,
like
especially
they
with the update
yeah.
to the city.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
Well, I think the next
yeah.
update is the major equipment update. But like I said, like
Yeah.
and improved, like they balanced. We're unbalanced. We need to be rebalanced, and whatever way that takes, it just needs to happen.
Yeah, especially with the update
Yeah.
being more focused on crims,
Mhm.
it's going to be a way harder to catch them.
yeah.
Also off-roading vehicles too. We have literally no advantage when it comes to off-roading because I've noticed a lot of
Oh, yeah.
people they'll be taking the trucks, and I mean our truck that we have, I've heard that it's not good either.
Yeah, I don't think any of the cars are very off-roady.
Yeah, and then when Pursuit took me up to Mount Chiliad one time, and literally I couldn't even get my vehicle as fast up that hill as they could.
Yeah. Cameron, would you
It's
say that
like
you're fairly
crazy.
familiar with how each of the vehicles handle?
I can say yeah.
Okay. Would you do me a favor and in the suggestions section, the vehicles that you feel like could be tuned, could you make those into one suggestion, and then the rest of the department can either put a thumbs up, thumbs down, type thing of like, yeah, I support, like I agree or disagree on. So then that way we're not cluttering it up with things in between, but then we can keep it all there and the ones that get voted on the most or people want to see fixed first, we can present that to the admins of the city and see if they can get that fixed for us.
Yep, I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Nice.
Something to piggyback off of almost everything, um, from the off-roading vehicles to the ramming stuff. I think the core of the issue is there's no consequence for throwing your car into a wall at 150 miles an hour.
That
It
is something that
doesn't
they are
hurt your
working on.
car
Yeah.
and
They are working
don't
on that
hurt
one.
you. Okay, because
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
once if
Cool.
because our pitting doesn't do anything, it doesn't disable the vehicle. It doesn't provide us any edge unless we can get a box, which that's rare that you're going to
Yeah.
be able to pull off a successful box. Not that it's impossible, but I think that would be a huge change. And then with the off-roading vehicles, they just throw it into trees and keep going, and they've got that acceleration from the off-road to keep going, and we don't, and we lose them there.
And the brakes are so much better.
Yeah.
I think
So
it
I
is.
can.
I think it is going to change from the mechanic side of it. Anyway, I'm sure with this new update, we're all buzzing for it. I'm sure the part of that is actually we're able to sort those things out. So like you can actually fuck your vehicle more than just if you've got 85% on your hull damage, or oh shit, you've got 2%. How's it still driving? It actually does do stuff now to the point that you can shag your car and it might still have 45% left on the hull and about 80 on the engine. So I'm sure there's more stuff like that coming into play with it, as far as I remember being told. So hitting should actually cause some detriment to the vehicle, whether that be it fucks up transmission, so it won't start as quickly, it won't go as quickly anymore until it comes to one of us. We've got to repair it. So that should actually do something soon. I just don't remember because I remember talking to Rusty about it. And they're trying to push it soon, but there's still a lot of fucking kinks in that tying out with it first.
Yeah, and then on the non-mechanic side of like all of their stuff, I when I was talking about the demolition derby and about how it was going to take forever, they're also looking to decrease how durable the armor and stuff like that is on vehicles, which will also lead to more vehicle damage and stuff like that. So that is towards the top of their list of priorities. So.
Can I chime in here real quick?
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to go back to my nightmare in a second, but just want to say y'all are doing great. I am gonna be hopefully back here sooner rather than later.
Better.
If you, I'm trying.
I know.
We can rock it. If you are interested in being a FTO, please reach out to myself, Jesse or Maddie. We want to continue filling the ranks, and having training for spacing is great, but if you have like other ideas of other training opportunities that you would like to see, please let us know. We want to hear back from you guys so we can arrange those scenarios, have it be bonding, but also some good training. As mentioned, there are the potential for other crimes to come down the pipe, and we want to be best prepared, especially with our CID being fully fleshed out and everything, but we all want to be prepared regardless of what department you serve. So thanks everyone. Really truly appreciate everyone's work and your time. Keep it up.
Hell yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Cool.
God bless America and God bless Quinn. Okay. Um,
You're welcome.
You're my favorite
We're still on
officer.
open question time.
You're my
Yes.
favorite police officer.
You're my favorite officer.
Does anyone have any more questions?
Can I chime on I was say on the pitting side of things quick?
Go ahead.
Chill. Yeah, it was just kind of like an observation both from watching it and doing it, obviously on my other brain. Is with the pit side of things, obviously with it being, I know we don't obviously pit it'd be above 80, which is fine. But I think it's more also to do with the actual vehicle as well. I think so. Obviously, as when we were doing the whole thing a couple of days ago now, when I was the Kakan, I can't say the name of the truck, but that big fucking 4x4, the Kakana or something.
Car.
That thing,
Yeah, the
that's
car.
car, that's it. I was thinking Kakana when I was thinking from Red Dead. Anyway, yeah, that thing can push, move, and stay in position with minimal to very little effort. So like when the other day, fucking when I was in the Kakano at the back, pushed. I didn't even put much effort into it, and I managed to push Maul completely off the road and span him, and that was with minimal effort. There was no hard turn. There was, it was just a simple push. So maybe it's a case of like it's also to do with vehicles themselves. If it's a small car that's speedy as shit, yeah, that's not gonna pose much of an issue unless it full frontals you. Whereas these big trucks are going to pose more of a threat in a very short amount of time because they don't need to put much effort into getting rid of you. So hitting on those won't even do much damage to them regardless of speed, because they can, again, they're big fucking hulking tanks. So maybe it could be easier as well if during a chase the interception vehicles they use, the Crims use, is trucks. We have a bit more leniency on, we need to get him out the fucking way to get to the prime one, whether it's for a boost in or whatever like that. We can get the interceptions out of the way quicker. And pitting, I think, is easier to kind of spin them out of the way, if that makes sense, because they won't be able to catch back up. They're too slow.
No, they will. It's those trucks have NOS on them, which I don't understand. Their engine would blow up, but
Some do, some don't. But the max speed is around 90 to 100. On a very, very, very fucking straight road, you can probably push it to 110. But they're not fast even with full upgrades. NOS will get them up to
I've had them catch up to many officers, I believe. But I mean, we can. I can't remember the name of the actual car that keeps fucking us up, but it's like the little off-road SUV looking thing that's kind of, what is that thing called?
It looks like a fucking go-kart.
It's like some type of coupe or something that's lifted off the ground and it's like off-road, but it's super great off-road, super great on-road, and it's just I don't know.
I mean, yeah,
You want that
those
one
will
with
speed.
the full size spare on the back.
I think so.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about it a little bit more with command, of course, but
Hmm.
I got updated that shooting at the tires is okay, but not shooting at the people. So you can shoot at tires, just not the people.
But we all know once we shoot their tires out, they're gonna shoot back.
Yeah, but in the event
Yeah.
that they don't, we
Yeah.
can't really justify shooting at people. But then again, that might change. It depends on what comes out of the command meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say I only mentioned it really because, like I said, it was just it's a smallish attempt to try and rebalance that scale we're on about, as much as we physically can without again breaking every rule under the book and without without root interference.
Yeah, and
seeing
giving
that
too many advantages to cops as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just yeah.
a lot of it, honestly, is us needing help from the people that are coding the cars.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
also
Like I
sounds
said,
like
they're
some of
busy
it
as
will
hell, aren't
change.
they?
Yeah.
So it's just trying to rebalance that as much as we can now. Because again, like God knows how long it's going to take them to push the updates needed out. So it's just an idea to try and help rebalance it as much as we can, especially for interceptions for fuck.
Interference.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, chasing cars. I don't know. Words are not working today. But yeah, that was all it was. So
Gotcha. I know we talked about the NOS topic. It's probably never going to be a thing. I'm gonna be real with you. Since NOS is illegal, it wouldn't be available for our use. Like,
And that's
if
the
we're making
disadvantage.
if we're making it illegal for people to use on roads, why it doesn't seem well if we're doing something illegal to catch them with it.
We'll just
So
need faster cars.
yeah, we'll just have to put our cars in the mechanic and all that stuff. But if anyone has no more questions, I'll go ahead and end this meeting.
like I say, you still got 20% off every time you come in for any upgrade. So it's a little bit of money off.
Yeah. About 33 minutes long. So any more questions?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, good to go.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you for coming out. Sorry for being late. And yeah.
Okay.
Have a good one.